Assalamu alaikum and welcome back to the channel. This is Red Prep and we're building up to Manchester United taking on Luton Town at Old Trafford in the Premier League. United suffered a crushing defeat against FC Copenhagen in Denmark in midweek, and they're already smarting with two consecutive home losses in the Premier League against Crystal Palace and Manchester City. While Luton Town will be buoyed by the fact that they almost won against Liverpool last weekend, having secured a draw against them with a late equalizer by Luis Diaz. They have only one victory in the Premier League yet, and that was against Everton, which was also away from home. So they'll be confident to take on Manchester United, who are reeling under a terrible start to the campaign with 9 losses in 17 matches in all competitions. Coming to head historically, Luton Town are on a winless streak of 11 matches since their last victory at Old Trafford in 1987. They've last time they faced each other, the two teams, was in the EFL Cup when Manchester United won 3-0 against Luton at Kenilworth Road. But they would be buoyed by their last draw against Liverpool, as well as their last away fixture was again Nottingham Forest, who was strong at home, and they secured a good 2-2 draw against them. So they'll be confident enough to do some damage to Manchester United. Manchester United have already lost 5 of their 10 Premier League matches for the first time since 1931. And in their entire history, they have never lost 6 of their first 11 matches. So if they lose this match, they'll create certainly a precedent that has never been challenged by any other manager and will solidify this being as the worst start to a Premier League campaign in their entire history. Coming to statistics, Luton Town are mainly a crossing team with their fullbacks who play as wing backs, putting in balls in for Morris, who's a good target man. They've scored 6 goals in their away fixtures in the Premier League so far, but Luton Town have conceded 14 goals in their away fixtures, 21 in all. And if they also concede in this match, they'll be the only team to have ever conceded goals in all of their first 12 fixtures in a league campaign in England. In terms of their biggest threats, obviously Captain Carlton Morris is the highest goal scorer with 3 goals, and he's a real threat in the box. He's good at holding up the ball and obviously dangerous from set pieces. So he'll be somebody that United have to stifle. In attack, they usually like to play with inverted wingers, either Ogbene, Townsend, or even Tai Chong, who has scored the last goal against Liverpool. In midfield, Marvelous Nakamba is their main linchpin. He usually plays with Ross Barkley, striking up a good partnership and a good complementary dynamic in midfield. In defense, Locklear has been a solid presence. He's also scored from set pieces, so he's dangerous as well. The goalkeeper Kaminski has done well in absence of Tim Krul, who's injured. Obviously, they're missing the likes of Sambi Lokanga, who was brought from Arsenal and who did start well. But they'll have enough numbers and enough confidence to put up a good show against Manchester United and cause a lot of trouble, be it from counter attacks or even set pieces. So let's move to the tactical board and try to analyze the formation and expected lineups of both the teams in this match. I think for Manchester United, since Evans went off injured, I think Maguire and Varane will start. I won't be surprised if Lindelof is brought in, because the way Varane played, he didn't look interested playing for the manager, so he might be brought in. But I start with Varane. I think Garnacho should keep his position. I don't think Amrabat will start, so I can see Mount and Eriksen starting with Fernandes in the number 10 position. Højlund obviously scored the 2 goals, so he should start. I think Anthony will be brought in just to give more balance to the side. I think Rashford because Rashford got the red card, I don't think he'd be in the best frame of mind, so he might be kept on the bench. Or Eric Ten Hag might flip the coin and just start him over Anthony, who hasn't played well enough to keep his position. But I think Anthony would start just to give the balance, and because he was rested also on the in the midweek match against Copenhagen. With Luton Town, they usually play with 3 centre backs. Mengi has come in because some of their centre back have been injured. I think Bell is back fit, so he might start in place of Mengi. But Mengi has done well enough to keep his position. Nakamba and Barkley are the two industrious midfielders. They're usually good at pressing and playing simple ball and screening the defense. Kabure and Doty have been their main attacking options on the flanks. They usually play as wing backs. Sometimes they played with four at the back, but usually, even in last match against Liverpool and all the matches against the big team, they've gone with three at centre backs and two wing backs. Obviously, Townsend has come in as a free agent. He started the Liverpool match. I think he'll keep his place just for his experience and the fact that he's also scored a winner at Old Trafford. So I think he'll retain his position. Obviously, Carlton Morris is their biggest threat, and he'd be occupying the space between the two centre backs. He doesn't have too much pace, but obviously he's strong and physically dominates in the air. So he'll be a threat against United. Ogbene has done well. Uh, Whenever I've watched Luton play, Ogbene has been a standout. Obviously, Chong can come in because he scored, and Ogbene might drop to the bench. But usually, Ogbene starts and Chong is brought in as a second half substitute. Luton, I think, will stick to playing on counter attacks. They'll be tight in midfield. Both Nakamba and Barkley would be closer to their three centre backs. Obviously, the full backs or wing backs will be given the opportunity to run down the wings and put in balls uh, for uh, for Morris, and obviously Townsend coming in off the flank because he is left-footed, so he'll be inverting. Also, Barkley is good at making deep runs into the box and coming at the end of square balls into our box, which has always been a problem under Ten Hag. We haven't dealt well with those square balls from the flank, both against good teams like Brighton and Manchester City, as well as counter-attacking sides. So it could be a stumbling block for us, but we will wait and see. I think that will be the overall makeup of both the teams in this match. On Saturday, it'll be Ten Hag's 58th Premier League match in charge of Manchester United, have won 30, which is a decent record. But obviously, the performance haven't been consistent, and we have seen even the result on a downward trajectory this season with an early Champions League exit on the horizon, an early exit from the Carabao Cup, and a dismal performance so far in the Premier League. The vultures are circling certainly around Ten Hag, and a loss or even any kind of drop points in this match will certainly seal his fate. United having lost three consecutive matches at Old Trafford since 1962, and having lost their last two, both 3-0 against City and Newcastle United. And Ten Hag will be trembling not to add another unprecedented record to his books. With the impending international break coming after this weekend and a time to reset again, Ten Hag would be hoping that they can secure 3 points in any fashion that is possible. The moral of the day and the mission statement has to be a victory at any cost, be it ugly, be it attritional, but a victory must come. And inshallah, we'll bring you all the breakdown of the match against Luton. Inshallah, with 3 points in the bag. In any case, we'll bring you Rapier like straight facts and truth of the match, and we'll analyze how the things turn out at Old Trafford on Saturday. So please join us for the Red Dissection episode after the match. Until then, take care, do good, pray for Palestine. Assalamu alaikum.